This year, we decided to grow 5 varieties of tomatoes in our backyard garden. We have 24 fabric pots planted with beefsteak, Cherokee Purple, yellow pear, rainbow cherry, and red cherry tomatoes we grew from seed. While they were still growing, we kept them with our other garden plants. They have grown so tall now that it's time to trellis them. To do this, we are using some simple T-posts and olive-colored paracord. We started by picking the spot for our first T-post. We made sure that this spot would give the tomatoes sun throughout the day. Once the first T-post was in the ground, we started grabbing the tomato bags and put them into a line with 2 rows until we liked the row length. This is something that we absolutely love about container gardening outdoors. Anytime we want to rearrange things, we can. That coupled with the additions of it being a no-till method, as well as easy for us to care for any plants that become sickly. It's even been great for the biodiversity of our yard, giving a place for the spiders and other bugs to hunt with coverage between the bags, which helps us maintain an herbicide and pesticide-free garden. We also feel like our grass has been stronger too, because the pots kill off an area, then we move them to allow for regrowth. We used a metal plant support to poke into the ground for any water lines before pushing the second post into the soil. My husband picked a height, then took paracord and pulled part of the line through one of the T-post holes and tied it off to prevent it from coming loose. We then took the other line to the other T-post and carefully ran the paracord down the middle of the tomatoes, before pulling it through a hole in the second T-post and tying it off. After the first line was in, we added one more trellis line to the post. This one was just beneath the current height of the tomato plants. With the lines in place, it was time to use tomato clips and gently clip each tomato plant stem to the paracord. This method supports the tomatoes as they grow taller, preventing them from bending or collapsing. It also reduces wind stress on the roots by stabilizing their tops, ensuring they remain secure. Additionally, it promotes healthier fruit development by keeping the plants upright, allowing for better airflow and sunlight exposure, which can lead to more even ripening and less risk of disease. We went down the row and clipped all the tomatoes that were tall enough to reach the paracord. As they grow, we'll add more lines and clip them on. Once we finished, we moved over our basil and coneflowers to encourage pollinators to visit the new space quicker. The next day, I needed to trim the tomato plants. I'll be removing the suckers that grow between the main stems, as well as any bottom growth that I don't want the plant to spend energy on. Tomato suckers are the small shoots that grow in the leaf axils between the main stem and branches. By removing these suckers early, we help direct the plant's energy into producing more fruit rather than excess foliage. Pruning suckers improves airflow and reduces the risk of disease by preventing overcrowding. Removing suckers also encourages stronger stems, which can better support the weight of the tomatoes as they grow. This simple task can lead to healthier, more productive tomato plants throughout the growing season, which is why I like to take time out of my day to tend to their removal. If you're wondering where these grow bags came from, we used to sell them on our website but stopped offering them. Since we had some leftovers, we decided to put them to good use. If you'd like to see us offer them again, let us know in the comments. In the meantime, we've linked the brand we found on Amazon in the description. One of our goals this year was to create an outdoor garden that works in harmony with nature. We don't like to use any herbicides or pesticides in our backyard. Instead, we hand pull weeds and rely on natural pest control by working with the bugs. Everything we've learned started with indoor growing. We believe that beginning with indoor hydroponics is a great way to understand plant needs and build confidence before tackling an outdoor garden. We highly recommend placing your outdoor garden in an accessible spot rather than spreading it out far. Having your garden nearby will bring you more joy and save you time throughout the day. Trust me. Some of our tomato plants are companion planted with green onions, basil, or borage. These companions not only enhance flavor, but also help with pest control and attract pollinators. To keep our container plants happy, we feed them with Fox Farms tomato and vegetable fertilizer, following the directions. So far, I'm really impressed with this fertilizer, and honestly, we've loved all their dry fertilizers that we've tried. Time to hand water for the last time. Here in Texas, Zone 8A, it has been so hot and windy. Since we are growing in fabric bags with great aeration and mature tomato plants, we've had to start watering 3 times a day by hand to keep them from drying out too much. To save time, we're setting up auto watering today. We start by connecting a drinking hose to our outdoor water faucet by installing a quick connect piece, then attaching it to the outdoor water timer. We'll be using this drip irrigation kit. First, attach the female coupler to the end of the water hose. Then run the larger tubing into the female coupler. We run this tubing along the length of our tomato row. We then took a quick break for a cat check-in to see how Carl and Sam were doing. They love hanging out with us in the garden, and they've been trained to stay within our yard when they go outside. There were a few bottom branches in the way, so we removed them. In the grow bags, we positioned our drip emitters so that the 2 emitters would water 4 bags. Having the 2 rows of tomatoes side by side made it easy to place the emitters near the edges of the bags closest to the opposite row. We secured the emitters in place by clipping the back part onto the bags and adding soil around the stake end. We then take the 1/4 inch drip line tubing and cut it to size. We want it to be a long enough line to reach the top of the bags with some slack. After cutting, we punch a hole into the larger line and fit in one of the 1/4 inch T-splitters that comes with the kit. We then take that drip tubing that we measured and attach one end to the T-splitter. We repeat the process to create another piece of tubing the same length and attach it to the other side of the T-splitter. We now have our first 2 water lines ready for the emitters. First, we cap off the end of the large tubing with an end plug. We cut the tubing just past the length of our tomato row, then install the end plug. This ensures the water stops at the end of the tube. Before we can test the emitters, we need to take the main tubing and carefully run it down the middle of our tomato bags. We are ready to connect the first 2 emitters. Using the lines connected to the T-splitter, we run one line to the first 2 tomato bags, connecting each line to the emitter in each bag. Then we tested the spray pattern of the red emitter and decided to see how the blue vortex spray pattern looked. We really preferred the blue sprayers, but didn't have enough of them. So instead, we alternated between the red and blue sprayers, starting with red and repeated the pattern all the way to the end. We then adjusted the nozzle tightness on each sprayer to prevent water from overshooting the grow bags. We set our timer to run 4 times a day for 7 minutes each time. We leave our faucet on with a 2-way hose splitter, so this way we can use the hose or the timer without needing to uninstall anything, and we can keep the water on without flooding the yard. That's it! This is our simple setup for trellising and auto-watering our container-grown tomato plants. Soon, we'll be setting up auto-watering for the rest of the garden since we moved everything else into rows. Our tomatoes are very happy, and we can't wait to harvest them once they grow big enough. Happy growing, and thanks for joining us.